All right. Hi, this is Ronnie Fernandez, LCSW, licensed clinical therapist. And I want to introduce a new show that we're going to have on YouTube. And it's about fatherhood. I'll talk about my journey of being a father. I'm a father of a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old currently, two little girls, and how that looks different than it did, you know, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And then also who'll be with me is my co-host, Mark. And Mark will go ahead and introduce himself and talk a
This
little bit
is
about him.
this is Mark Winkler. I am an author of a book called My Daughter's Keeper. I wrote it after going through child custody court. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as we progress in this journey and this fatherhood conversation. I am a father as well. I'm a father of 3 daughters. I have 1 biological and 2 stepdaughters. I'm more of a seasoned pro. Ronnie's kind of a rookie in the game.
What? Yeah, yeah. Where they get
You get a
into it?
little baptism when they get up
Yeah,
to 3 or 4, but
yeah.
I still, mine are almost all 3 of them are just about 2 are teenagers and
Oh,
1 is knocking
yeah.
on the door of teenagehood. And so I am in this dynamic in
I'm.
this house with all women, and it's just me and the dog. And so
Yeah, I
having
don't
the
have a dog.
opportunity
So.
to have the conversation outside of that feminine energy, which I love, but this
But
is going to
yeah,
be,
I
I
mean,
welcome this
yeah,
conversation.
yeah. In my house, it's all about Frozen and, and the news cartoons. So it'll be
I'll be
nice.
going to see that on Friday, by the way.
Oh,
So
it's something. It's something. So yeah, we just want to talk about, being a father. You know, nowadays, I mean, it's definitely changed, and we just want to talk about some of the great benefits of being a father, the things that we really love, and things that are just driving us a little could be stressful, and could be some of the negative parts about being a father too,
yeah,
and being
yeah.
able to kind of talk about that, because I think when we don't talk to people, especially being a father of young ones,
Mhm.
I don't get how much, so
Yeah.
and then when I do, find out that we all have kind of common problems, so
And I
it's
see that, and that's the thing that I enjoy about these kind of conversations, man, and these kind of things that happen like this. Because the truth is, we do go through a lot, right? We go through a lot as fathers, but it's not a singular thing. It's not unique to us, right? Now, there may be things that are definitely just happening to us, right? Because of our particular dynamic. But in general, if you step into a room of men who are fathers and say, hey, look, this happened to me,
yeah,
can anyone else attest to this? You're probably going to get 2/3 of the people in the room raising their hands, right?
yeah, absolutely,
However, the problem is that you don't normally get men in a room
yeah,
to have this
it's true.
conversation, to do that type of poll. So I'm excited about this, man, because I think during the course of this conversation, hopefully people will tune in, hopefully they'll check it out, and men will begin to say, this is a useful thing to do, to
Yeah,
have these type of conversations, right? Because it is, as you said, Ronnie, it is a changing dynamic, right? The way I was parented is not the way that I'm parenting,
correct.
right? So there's
Yeah,
certain things that are similar, right? But then there's
yeah,
things that are vastly different. And so those things that are vastly different, I ask myself then, what are my models? Where do
yeah,
I go to find out if these things work or not?
right.
Right. And
Yeah, no,
so it's
absolutely.
but so it's in these moments having conversations with gentlemen like yourself and other fathers that I can begin to see that, okay, this can work, or I should pull
Yeah.
back on this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, especially when when we're fathers and we're not
Hmm.
going out much talking out to other men, we have
Hmm.
we have our upbringing, and
Hmm.
how kids were raised back in the day, right
Right.
here, of like, they shouldn't be acting like that, and then we
Right.
have
Right.
society over here telling us you shouldn't yell at your kids, and then so it's kind of like, it's a tough balance, and I think once we talk about, like, we're all kind of on the same boat here, and
Hmm.
we're all just trying to do our best, and be the best fathers that we can. So yeah, so I'm really excited about meeting up and talking about these issues, man, because we don't talk about it, man. Usually,
Hmm.
hey man, how you doing? Oh, I'm great. But
Right.
it's just like, can't believe my night last night. Nobody was going to
Right. Let me
bed.
let me let me tell you what I saw in this sports thing. And look, I'm not knocking anything that men do, right? in terms of communicating and socializing, because I enjoy those things as well, right? I enjoy going into a room and shooting the talk. That's fun. But I also have grown to appreciate being able to step into a room and feel comfortable enough talking about, this is what's bothering me.
Yeah.
These are moments of vulnerability that I'm feeling. These are moments of fear, right?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
being able to convene in that room and get the support as opposed to the shame and ridicule. Even if they don't say anything, just the looks that you would get sometimes.
Some of the looks, yeah.
Right, what's going on with that chump, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, so we just want to create a space where we're just going to be honest with each other. And I know as a therapist, I always I don't want to give advice because it's like that they're gonna see me with my kids, like, get out of here, and that I can do. So I mean, it's more of like we're sitting down and we're just gonna talk about like what's going on and issues as a father and stuff. So I just didn't want to do a thing where I come up and say you should do this with your kids. Well, so but I just think having conversations about this, and then other people seeing that, look, people have common issues, and and we're just all doing our best, and we're just trying to
doing our best, man. And what I'm going to encourage, and I'm sure you will, is that when they're watching this, to comment, to leave their comments, to talk about, okay, I went through that and this is what happened, or I went through that and I'm stuck at this point. You know, what's some advice? And that advice won't only come from us, it'll come from other people on the thread, right? And I'm hoping also that people will leave suggestions for topics that we can talk about in the dynamic of manhood and fatherhood, right? So I'm hoping to get a full participation from the community of men and fathers, because for me, the thing that I've determined in my life is that I want to be of purpose. Right. Absolutely. I want to help to create joy and happiness in the world. And the way I've determined to do that is by being the best father and best man that I can be. Absolutely. And as I learn things that are helpful to me on that journey, I definitely want to share. Right. But also I want to gather and learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's where, especially with the technology and everything that we have now, is that we can actually have discussions. We don't have to just, you should, when your child does this, do this. Like, man, what happened if you just you're just working 10 hours, your wife's exhausted, and you're just like, oh, you just need that survival thing. It's like, here, So,
right. Exactly.
And just and not have that guilt if you give your kid a tablet for a little bit, or have that, here, watch some TV for a long while.
Exactly.
And we just kind of have to have just those conversations. So I'm looking forward to it, and so it's just a little introduction one, and I'm just excited about it.
So Ronnie, tell the people when we're going to be dropping our first video.
So I think we're gonna start after the holidays, so probably in January. We'll pick a day and time that we're consistent with, and that we can do it. So we're gonna go ahead, and we're in December, mid-December right now. So I think just with all the holiday stuff going on, we can start it in January, and so we'll go from there.
Absolutely. My New Year's resolution is to do this. So
awesome, man. I still got the weight thing going on, man. No, I'm gonna do this, but man. So stay tuned. We'll have some other stuff probably on Facebook, kind of spreading the word, but we'll probably start the first week of January. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll go from there.
See you soon.
All right, see you, buddy.